Good morning, everybody. Let me get my stool. Alright, we're going to start we're going to call it a build-along. I'm going to build a knife for my friend Nick. We talked about this thing probably a year ago. Played phone tag for several months and finally we got to talk the other day. I enjoyed talking with you, bud. Now he wants what is called a Alamazon. Now we're not going to call it that when I get done with it. I'm going to name it something because I'm going to surely make more of these. And we'll start with one though, start with Nick's. And I wanted to show y'all how I designed something I've never built before. Now, I built something similar to this, but not exactly. So it's fairly straightforward. We're going to get our pattern laid out first. Then I'll go select the steel. I've got in mind what I want to use. And it'll be reclaimed steel. Very good stuff if it'll fit. I mean, if it's big enough, I think it is. But we'll see. Now, I've got my rough measurements down here. Now, these are available online, different places. I saw one for, I think it was $75. Was the lowest price I saw, and the most expensive one I saw was $840 something. Handmade Damascus from India. That's my opinion on that. But now me and Nick, we do have a deal worked out on this one. I'm not sure that's the final price of what they will be, but these will be on the website eventually. I got to get Ricky Jr. slowed down one day to help me go through that thing again. Alright, first thing I do when I design something new, let's go over here to the edge. This is just an old piece of poster board. Being as this knife doesn't have a lot of curves in it, we're going to start with a straight line. And most of them go from 10 to 10.5 to 11 inches. And a couple of them is even 11.5. I think 11.5 is pretty big. So we're going to go with 11 inches. Now the handle, go with a standard kitchen knife handle. 0. That's my latest Harbor Freight tool. Works great. Let's see, we're going to go standard about right there. You don't want it too big. You don't want it too small either. Because a lot of fellers will want a bigger handle. But this is a kitchen knife. Kitchen, camping, cooking, all that kind of stuff. And a lot of times ladies like these kitchen type knives, and you don't want too big a handle. Too wide this way or that way. We want to be comfortable. Okay, so we're going to just establish our lines here. Okay, standard handle on most kitchen knives is 5 inches, roughly 5 inches. Okay, we're going to over exaggerate this, and I'll show you why in just a minute. Alright, blades are, just about every one I've ever looked at is 6 inches. Okay, so from the end down here, we're going to leave ourselves plenty of room. Okay, we're going to go 6 inches. should have got my glasses, I guess. That's alright, I can see good enough. Right, I'm going to square this line here. Okay. This is our 6 inches of blade. Right there. And we said the handle was 5 inches. So we go here. We go here. Right there. Now, I don't want the handle flat and square down here like a lot of knives are. Not in this particular one. So I'm just going to eyeball a little tang down here, like that, something like that, and that'll be determined in the final grinding of the handle. It's going to be full tang, that'll be full too. So when it's in your hand, just move that down a little bit. It's less of a chance of it slipping out of there. They don't make erasers like they used to. Move it down just a little bit and come up like this. Something like that. Okay, then we'll put a pin here, pin here, a pin here. I don't see the point in the lanyard hole for these. Now the blade width on most of what I've seen says 3.5 inches. And there's the top, and there's 3.5. That don't look right to me. That's not big enough. Or is it actually a cleaver chopper type knife? So let's go down. Oh, that's centimeters. Duh. My name is Ricky. 3.5 inches. Okay, that looks right. That looks better. 3.5 inches. Three and a half inches. 3.5 inches, Ricky, not 3.25. Folks, I'm to the point where I just about am going to have to start wearing my glasses all the time instead of just for driving. And it really is aggravating. Now, top is a real sharp from here all the way up. Sharp angle right there. And I have no way of knowing what that angle is. So we're just going to make our own. Something that looks right. Let's see, let's go that up there. Nope. Go at the widest point, then go back. Let's see. Tell you what, let's do it this way. As it comes up, comes up like this. There we go. Never mind slide rules and protractors, right? Okay, there we go. That should be it. Now, this is going to be probably 2 or 3 part video, so we're going to call this one part 1. We're just going to get our design down first and look at it. Make sure it's what I want. And once this pattern is made, I will take a piece of very, very thin piece of plywood and make a permanent pattern and get a better idea for what it's actually going to look like. Here, that, and then I cut my little tank off, but that's okay. We can fix that on the wood pattern. And that may be just a touch long. Yeah. Let's get on the sidewalk. There we go, right there. Chop, 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 chop. Really chop. What do you think? Now we're going to I'll get a piece of wood and draw it over again, transfer it, and then we'll put it on the saw, cut it out, get it all ready. Then I'll go out and get the steel. See what else. Hat for today. This guy runs a knife shop. Y'all know that guy, tell him hi. And this guy has a couple of knives available too. I'm gonna check him out. Alright, and I noticed the other day too, it's in my t-shirt drawer. I have so many t-shirts. I normally don't wear anything with prints on it, but I have so many. I'm going to start trying to wear a different t-shirt every day that y'all might recognize. J0 Scrub Camp 2016. I was there. And it was a great time. Got to meet a bunch of YouTubers up there. The only ones that I still watch that I think are even still around that was there back then is Big Family Homestead. I watch them sometimes. Nice folks. I don't know if y'all watch me or not. If you do, howdy. It's about to get cold in y'all's neck of the woods. Alright, enough jabbering. I'll be back. Alright, here we go. Here is our wooden template. Now this material, this is disc off of a piece, I believe it's an old combine. Every year my buddy up in North Dakota sends me a few of these, or a bunch of these. Thank you very much. If I remember correctly, he told me it was parked there back in the 20s or 30s, and it's been sitting on his place ever since. And he has to wait till late in the spring and early summer to get any of these off because they're buried under snow. Anyway, this is old steel, and it's very good. I've used it for several different things, a lot of knives, so very good stuff. And that's what we're going to use. I've got my outline out. I've got to adjust the handle just slightly because it's not quite long as this, but this is longer than 5 inches anyway. Now these holes here, that's not going to be the final pin holes. I drilled one to hang it up with, and then I got off centered on those, so those will be different. But I'm going to take this to the porta band over here. I'm going to get on my safety glasses. I'm going to get on my mask. My mask or my respirator, one of the two. Because I got in trouble from my buddy Eric, got on to me, called me the other day and got on to me about not wearing a mask when I'm cutting and grinding. Now, you're right. You're exactly right. I had a fairly rough night last night, breathing wise. I couldn't sleep very good. So I'm going to go as long as I can go today. I also have a large fillet knife and another fillet knife and a neck knife. I'm working on it at the same time as all this. And hopefully they'll all be done by the weekend. Now the large fillet, see, that one's already cut somewhere, wherever I put it. The other fillet, I have some of this old reclaimed material here. That is an old sawmill blade, bandsaw sawmill. That one was not ancient because it's got carbide teeth, but it's pretty old. And I've used it before. It makes good stuff too. And there we go. Let me work on this. Once I get it cut, we'll grind it into final shape. And then one more note on these. All of these have a slight curvature into them. So when I get it cut out and shaped, it'll have to go in the forge. And I'll have to flatten it on the anvil and get it good and flat, which is no big deal. It's just dealing with this heat. It's got to cool down sometime, though. That's all we can do. We don't complain about it. Just keep praying for cool weather. Sort of cool. A little bit cooler. A blizzard. Something. Alright, be back just now. This is going to be a little tricky, but I'll get it done. Now watch your volume, because this saw is very loud. Just going to saw a little bit of it and show you. My fancy dancy tool to hold the trigger on. Now here's the tricky part. Take it back out and trim here, trim there, trim everywhere, and I'll get to it to where I can get it out of there. Then the rest of it will be a piece of cake. Alright, we'll look at it when it gets done. Alright y'all, we got it rough shaped. I left my lines. I'm going to put it on the grinder and grind it down and get everything even, flush. And it won't take just a few minutes to do this, so I think I'll just let the camera run. And this one's not near as noisy. This is where the 1x30 comes in real handy. But you can get much tighter in. Hang on, moving the camera. Nope, broke that one. That's alright. Now, next step. I'm going to put it on the magnet over here on the 4x36 and clean it up a little bit. And this little corner right here that I can't get to with the power grinder, I'll get a file and take care of that. It's looking pretty good so far. Now this hole couldn't be helped because that's the way the metal came out, but it adds a little bit of character to it, I think. Pretty cool looking. Alright, now we'll get the magnet out and get set up for a little bit of cleanup. Then I'll have to go to the forge. That may be on part 2 because the heat is up. I cannot get out there over the forge right now. Maybe late this afternoon or early in the morning. We'll see. But next thing we're going to do, we'll clean it up and I'll show you that, and that'll be the end of part 1. Alright, last step for today. This is a 80 grit belt, which is fairly worn, but it'll work good enough for what we're going to do. Now this is a 100-pound magnet. It's supposed to pick up 100 pounds. Now when I'm using this, I have to stand back, have to be real careful. I can't get it close to my defibrillator. Anything magnetic, batteries, anything like that will possibility of it setting off that defibrillator, and let me tell you, that is not fun, nary a bit. So I can do it, I just got to be careful with it. Alright, so this is going to do is help me hold it down. So hold it flat, and all I'm going to do is clean it up a little bit and get it ready for annealing. I'd put it in the forge and anneal it and straighten it. Now the noise is not too bad on this one, so I'll check your volume. Yes, Eric. Now at this point I still don't want to get it too awful hot. One reason because I want to be able to handle it. Man, that thing works good. Let's see, where'd my rag go? Which one of y'all got my rag? There we go. Now in the end, I want a bunch of these marks left in there, the pits and all that, but it'll be clean on the edge. Do this side. Now let's take a look at it. I had to take my white hat off. It'd get all dirty doing this. Now there's still a lot more sanding and cleaning up to do on it as I go forward. I just wanted most of that rust off of there. Well, there it is so far. What do you think, Nick? Is that something like you wanted? I think it's going to come out really, really, really nice. Not real heavy, easy to handle. I have some stabilized handle wood, 2 or 3 different kinds, but I don't know what they are. And I got some in a trade not long ago. Some of them was marked, some of them wasn't. And they've been in the gear room, and I put them right under the drip back when it was raining back months ago, but it's all dried out and good now. It's stabilized, so it won't hurt it anyway. But I'll pick the prettiest handle material I got for it. But there we go. That will do it for part 1. Y'all remember them available knives. I really need to sell those, please, if anybody's interested. See, today is Wednesday, tomorrow will be Thursday. I've got help coming for the boat project tomorrow, and I've got to spend a day on that while I got some help, because I'm to the point where if I don't have somebody to help me, I won't be able to go any further. So and we'll video that too. So it's hot, even in the shop. AC's not keeping up. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm just going to go inside the house. I've got to get a sandwich and a glass of milk, and I will see y'all tomorrow. I thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. I appreciate each and every one of you. That's easy for me to say, right? And let's see, sandwich, glass of milk, nap, and I'll be back out tonight. That's what we're going to do.